by a tree. Susan Bauer has an overview of the extensive damage caused by the wind.
One of the worst scenes of devastation was found this morning in Benton City. A mobile home flipped over, a complete loss. Fortunately, the home was not occupied. This home video was shot by Les Kaiser. The trailer was just being moved onto a lot on Windy Lane. Windy is an understatement. Yesterday, the mobile home sat here. It was blown over 100 feet across the street, coming to rest on its top. Although no one slept through the howling winds last night, most people were surprised by the amount of damage those gusts caused.
Got up this morning and I thought I was very lucky because my trailer didn't seem to have any damage, and then I looked outside and kind of got sick.
Wold's car was crunched when her carport collapsed, along with many others at a Kennewick mobile home park.
About 3:30, I heard this really loud bang hit the house, and the trailer moved a couple inches backwards. And at the same time, the front window exploded in, or some object hit it.
But trailers and light structures weren't the only things hit hard. Trees were uprooted nearly everywhere, many of them falling directly on power lines. Live lines littered the streets, prompting some school closures and delays. Many areas of the Tri-Cities were without power for most of the day. Utility crews have been working since 3 a.m. and have managed to restore power to most areas this evening, but they say some people in Benton County will be without power through the night. Even though her husband says he never liked these two huge trees in their front yard, Sherry Solderquist says their sudden removal wasn't something she'd like to experience again.
I got scared last night, so I crawled in his bed in the basement, figured I'd be safe down there, and I just felt a big boom like an earthquake.
In Pasco, this pump at the Husky station was crushed when the shelter over the self-serve island collapsed. And many signs all over the Mid-Columbia are now a thing of the past. While city and utility crews have been working at top speed, cleanup is expected to take several days. In the meantime, another storm is expected to blow through tonight. This one won't be as strong, but people in the region are preparing to batten down the hatches. Susan Bauer, KVEW News.
The people that work at emergency management centers know storms like the one that rattled the Tri-Cities last night and early this morning are always a possibility. But when the big one hit, it gave officials a chance to put response plans into real action. Tom Brock reports.
As soon as the storm hit, the calls started pouring in, and workers at Benton and Franklin County Emergency Management began working to get help to those who need it most. When a crisis hits, this room becomes the central nervous system for the county. This is where emergency plans are put into action. Today, it's where workers keep in close contact with those out in the field working to restore power and with rescue teams from the Red Cross. The biggest task before workers today is assessing how much damage the storm caused.
There is a possibility that there can be some assistance in different areas from state or federal agencies if we have sufficient damage to qualify. So right now we're trying to gather information from the public entities, public agencies, the schools and cities and the county to see how much damage they've had to public facilities.
She says home and business owners should keep track of damage and the cost to repair. They may be eligible for some kind of relief. In some parts of the Mid-Columbia, families may be looking for a more immediate kind of relief, protection from the elements. Summers says there are many homes without power still, and shelters are open for those who can't stay with family or friends. To find out where, call the Red Cross or your county's Office of Emergency Management.
Yes, if their living's being affected, like the mobile home being damaged, a tree, windows being blown out, something like this, that it's affecting the heating or the structure of their home, we need a call to find out how many people are affected.
Officials say it's best if you bring a sleeping bag, but some cots will be set up by the Red Cross. Some families reported difficulty getting through 911 lines early this morning, but Summers says you should only call if you're having a real emergency.
But I know here in Benton County they have a lot of lines going into 911, but they just were absolutely swamped. They had every line lit up last night, and so it was very possible you could get a busy signal, even though they have a number of lines. That's a possibility with people calling up just reporting that their power's out or those kinds of things. That's why it's real important that people just limit their calls to when it's an emergency and that they need help and not other just information questions.
In Kennewick, Tom Brock, KVEW News.
Their cars and demolished the side of their house. The Stevens say it's amazing they made it through the storm unhurt. Jennifer Crawford has their story.
As last night's windstorm ripped through the Tri-Cities, it randomly selected this Kennewick residence to leave its mark on. The storm demolished 3 of the family's 4 cars parked between the family's garage and home. The wind then uprooted this huge tree, breaking the irrigation pipe and destroying the side of the home's roof. Frayed power lines are holding up the weight of the fallen trees, and power is out throughout the home. Homeowner Karen Stevens was outside when the storm hit. She says the family is very lucky that no one was hurt.
We had clothes up on the line, and I heard the wind blowing, and I was afraid we were going to lose our clothes, and so I come out here, and I got the clothes off the line, barely got back into the house, and the tree fell where I was at. It wasn't that terribly loud. You'd think with it hitting 3 cars.